Good evening. My name is Maria Monteiro, and I'm a member at large of the Executive Committee of the Hymn Society. Can you hear me? Good evening. My name is Maria Monteiro, and I'm a member at large of the Executive Committee of the Hymn Society. This event is part of the annual conference of the Hymn Society in the United States and Canada. In addition to those who are gathered here this evening, we are delighted to be welcoming people from all over the world who are viewing this event online. We also would like to thank our sponsors for this event tonight, Andreas and Tracy Teich. One of the features of our conference is the presence of the Loveless Scholars, a group of graduate and undergraduate students who are able to enjoy a first-hand experience of this wonderful organization, thanks to the generosity of members and friends who are investing in the future of congregational song. If you value this evening's experience, we invite you to make a donation to the Loveless Scholarship by using one of the baskets at the exit. If you prefer, you can make an online donation at our website, www.thehymnsociety.org. Be sure to type scholarship in the donation box. And thank you for your gift. Now let me introduce to you our leaders for this evening. Michael Hawn. Michael Hawn is the University Distinguished Professor Emeritus of Church Music, Perkins School of Theology, Southern Methodist University. He's the author of several books related to congregational songs, the USA editor for the Canterbury Dictionary of Hymnology, and editor of the United Methodist Discipleship Resources site, History of Hymns. We also have Phillip Morgan. Phillip Morgan has served as Director of Music at Central Presbyterian Church in Louisville, Kentucky since 2012. He's also the Artistic Director of the Louisville Gay Men's Chorus. Both a conductor and a singer, Phillip currently sings with the Louisville Chamber Choir and has been a featured soloist with the Louisville Orchestra, the Choral Arts Society, and a studio artist with the Kentucky Opera. A fuller biography can be found on the conference webpage. And now, I welcome you to the Holy Act of Singing Renews Peace.
Our topic this evening is rather serious, but I want to start us off on a perhaps lighter note, if you don't mind. First of all, a number of people have asked me and asked Phillip, who has never been to a hymn society and did not know about me, and I didn't tell him certain things, working together. If I was going to use a certain instrument tonight, often called an accordion, and there are other terms I can't mention in a cathedral. And I really thought it was not really in good taste, but I appreciate it. So I just want to clarify one thing. I played the accordion for the first time at Tom Smith's invitation in 1990 in Charleston. And since then, I've been the unofficial accordion artist in residence for the Hymn Society for 35 years. However, I am pleased to say from this point on, I am now transferring this distinguished title to Peter Kohler. My accordion is too heavy to carry anymore, and he can dance and play his. I just cannot pull that off. And so it's time to pass that torch on to a next generation. And then I want to say a word about our Hymn Society staff. I feel like the Hymn Society staff are like my extended family, and you as well. When we leave here, I think we feel a lot of that kinship with each other. But thinking specifically of our staff, they remind me of my family, except that I get more communication from them than I get from my family. The stanza, the webinars, the hymn, and just a few emails. And I must say, very similar to my family, even some of them ask for money. Sorry, that hurt, didn't it, Michael? I'm sorry. But I want to single out a couple. We have found out, of course, that Courtney and Brian have managed to as the hymn says, suffer a decade with us. And we are so grateful for their presence. And I need to, by the way, Brian, I hate to bother you. Would you come up here for just a minute? Because I have a problem with my microphone, and my guitar needs to be tuned, and I need a drum player during this. Would you do some interpretive movement? And by the way, before I go to bed, would you fluff my pillow? That was a symbol of, keep on coming. And so, in honor of the director of the what was the thing you do, the congregational song? The Center for Congregational Song, which has really offered us so much and expanded our society, we've commissioned a hymn. And Mel Bringle has done this. And as you know Mel's work, she's often inspired by a particular melody. And so I knew she had a tremendous grasp of hymn tunes, but this one I was really surprised at and pleased. She's gone to a famous Central American liturgical song. The hymn tune title is Cabeza, Hombres, Rodillas y Dedos de los Pies. Head and shoulders, knees and toes. And she's written it with a really wonderful call response. And so I'll play call, you play response. Who plays dulcimer and drums? Yeah, that was pretty bad. Okay. Brian deserves better than that. We're going to do this till we get it right. Who plays dulcimer and drums? Who plays dulcimers and drums? Who stays super cool whatever comes? Our beloved Brian Hawn. Who is deft with tech and Zoom? Who is deft with tech and Zoom? Whose red hair can light up any room? Our beloved Brian Hawn. Who can lead both prayer and song? Who can lead both prayer and song? Who has served a tenure 10 years long? Our beloved Brian Hawn. Who knows what may lie in store? Who knows what may lie in store? All we know is what we want 10 years more. Sorry, Mel. All we know is we want 10 years more. Our beloved Brian Hawn. I have here the original manuscript on parchment, the urtext. Please take it.
I believe it's copyright GIA.
The copyright GIA, of course. For those of you that are not present in the room, and some of you may not be Hymn Society members, please, I hope if you felt a little bit out of it, at least you understand the collegiality of this group and the affection we hold for each other and for the act of singing. One preparatory piece, I'm making a shift in case some of you don't catch on to that. One preparatory ritual that is not in your program that I want to do requires a little bit of preparation. I have been the beneficiary of the wisdom of many, many former students, and someone well known to the Hymn Society, Dr. Lim Sui Hong, also a fellow, during his student days, was a little overwhelmed by how we passed the peace in Texas. It's a bit of a free-for-all, a lot of hugging and touching, and the Asian community sometimes finds this a little bit overwhelming. That's the nice term. And so he suggested that when we were preparing a special World Communion service, that we might take an alternative approach to passing the peace. And so it's been very important to me. It's one that he had seen used in, among certain communities, especially in India. And the hard thing for us is that it's done in silence. So Megan will demonstrate with me. You take your hands and you place them between each other like a sandwich. So one hand is between the two hands and the other hand's on the outside. And then at that point, in silence, and what you're saying in this silent gesture is, I see Christ in you, and you see Christ in me. Now, I want to use this later at a turning point in our festival, but we need to practice it because my experience in working with people is they feel very awkward about that, and that's okay. That's why we practice a ritual gesture. And so I'm going to give you a signal at a certain part in the service, about halfway through, and the signal will be this. And that's going to be your signal to stand and move even into the space around and pass that peace in silence. So we're going to practice it, and then at the end, when it's time to return, I will. All right? So here we go. There's no mistakes. Just give it a try. That was beautiful. And I must say, in my experience, you are well trained. A lot of people can't do that. And so, live into it. I am very grateful for the honor of collaborating with Phillip Morgan in this festival. We've had some wonderful conversations. Philip's going to tell you a little bit more later, but I want to say right now that Philip's life was threatened by a medical situation only 3 or so weeks ago. and it is a miracle that he is with us tonight. Certain things that we were going to do together are not quite possible, but we're fine. This group, I told them we could sing in a barn. It makes no difference. And so I would appreciate your prayers for Phillip as he has come to be with us after a very difficult time when his life was actually threatened by a medical situation. We begin with your imagination. You notice that there's no printed music for the first piece. Francisco Feliciano was a Christian that was thought outside the box as a musician for the church and beyond. He was inspired by a Buddhist meditation exercise. Imagine a still, glassy pond, totally serene. And imagine then a pebble dropped into the pond, and a series of concentric circles expand and then eventually contract until it returns to that stillness. That was his inspiration for the melody of this chant. And I need your help to put it together. I'm going to give you a tone, and in this wonderful space acoustically, you're going to hear all these voices just so beautifully. And then, after a stanza or so, those that wish to stay in that tone do. I'll give another tone, and some of you may pick that up. And we'll build another tone. You can stay in one, whatever, till it builds a kind of a cluster. Whatever image comes to your mind that allows you to have a space of total contemplation, of a total sense of God's presence, use that image. Let us worship.
I search for my God. In silence, I marvel at the universe, the world it contains, its beauty, its harmony. Creator of such perfection, who else could it be? Come, listen to the trees, the green fields, the rivers and the morning breeze, the birds in the air all singing their Maker's praise. Creator of countless wonders, who else could it be? Yes, I am filled with joy and breathe in the presence of the Lord my God. Your praise I will sing, your power declare in chant. And when I am moved to worship, peace reigns in my heart.
The next body of songs are incredibly familiar to most of us. There has been a lot of talk this week about the Nicene Creed. I did not grow up with the Nicene Creed. I didn't grow up with any creed. But I grew up with a grandmother. And that grandmother sang these songs, sang them often, and instilled them deep in me. Instilled them deep in me until they were creedal. And I didn't perhaps know how much they were creedal until about 2 weeks ago, when I was in the hospital for something else, and the doctor came into the room right as they were about to feed me my first meal and said, "Take the tray away. I'm going to send him down for a CT scan. I think he has a blood clot. And if you have a blood clot, I'm going to do everything I can to try to save your leg. So we're going to send you to CT, see what that shows, and then send you to an OR." I immediately began to cry. They wheeled me out of the room. They were shoving papers with permissions into my hands, saying, "Sign here, initial here." I didn't know what they were saying, if they were saying, "Chop off the right leg above the knee," or what. I mean, they were just shoving them at me. But all the while I had been thinking of this hymn festival, and the words of the third hymn we'll sing came to me. When peace like a river attends my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul. I don't think I'd really ever understood the words of that hymn until that moment, when something very serious was very present and near to me. But I had them. My grandmother had taught them to me, just for the moment I would need them. So I invite you to sing along with me to these first three hymns. We'll stand and sing the first, and then you can sit down again for Like a River Glorious. The first is my favorite, so we're going to sing it with gusto.
Amen.
got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. Just like that, sing what your heart hears. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace. I've got peace in my soul. One more time. I've got peace. I've got peace like. I've got peace. I've got peace in my soul. Oh, I've got peace. I've got peace. I've got peace like a river in my soul. For the next spiritual, we move from a sense of I've got peace to we shall all have peace. In our darkest moment in the valley of death, if Jesus himself is with us, we'll have peace. I invite you to sing what's marked as the choir parts. I will attempt to sing the treble solo, not necessarily as a treble. There will be no sorrow there. There will be no sorrow there. If Jesus himself shall be our leader, we shall walk through the valley in peace. We shall walk through the valley peace. We shall walk through the valley in peace. If Jesus himself shall be our leader. We shall walk through the valley in peace. There will be no dying there. There will be no dying there. If Jesus himself shall be our leader, we shall walk through the valley in peace. We shall walk through the valley peace. We shall walk through the valley in peace. If Jesus himself will be our leader, we shall walk through the valley in peace.
Passing the peace. Let me turn on. The passing of the peace is a hinge point, moving us from inner peace, a personal peace with God, to reaching out to others. The selections that we're going to sing come virtually totally from within our fellowship, many of whom are present. I'm not going to talk about these hymns because I would not presume to tell you what these hymns mean in the presence of the hymn writers. But more importantly, they do not need explanation. I'll simply mention that the first two hymns talk about being at peace with those whose belief systems are different than ours, and our respect we can show. So I will give you instructions as we go along, and let us sing. I'd like us to do that with the flute again, and I want you to hum your part, Sundred. Treble voices. Lower voices. Hearts, please.
voices, please. Creator of voices, hearts, please. The song of peace best sung by all, strength born of unity. In harmony we celebrate your diversity. And bring us treble voices, please. It eagles hearts. Teach us to cherish what is great and to listen with our hearts and speak with love in honesty. From different sources comfort comes, each seeks for the divine. Your voice speaks many languages, just one of them is And so, sometimes all we can do is pray. We have 3 prayers from 3 different traditions. We'll begin by singing a beautiful chant, and then I invite you in the prayer from the Islamic tradition to read in silence the prayer. We'll sing again and proceed from that point. On common prayer we hide, one of repeated plea. To God we One common prayer have we, one oft repeated dream. To God we lift one plea, to see the world at peace. One common prayer have we, one oft repeated dream. To God we lift one plea, to see the world at peace. Come, let us go to the mountain of the Lord, that we may walk the paths of the Most High. And we shall beat our swords into plowshares and our spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore. And none shall be afraid, for the mouth of the Lord of hosts has spoken. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, va'al kol Yisrael, va'imaru. Amen. May the one who makes peace in the high heavens make peace upon us, for all of Israel, and for all who inhabit the earth. One common prayer have we, one to God we lift one plea, to see the world at peace. One common prayer have we, one repeated dream. To God we lift one plea, to see the world at peace.
How beautiful on the mountains are the feet of those who bring good news, who proclaim peace, who bring good tidings, who proclaim salvation, who say to Zion, your God reigns. For whoever would love life and see good days must keep their tongue from evil and their lips from deceitful speech. They must turn from evil and do good. They must seek peace and pursue it. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God.
One common prayer have we, one oft repeated dream. To God we lift one plea, to see the world at peace. One common prayer have we, one oft repeated dream. To God we lift our plea, to see the world at One common prayer we have, one oft repeated dream. To God we lift one plea, to see the world. Much like the word faith that we explored on Monday morning, peace has many dimensions. Our three hymns that follow
from 3 of our members explore these dimensions, and once again, we'll let them speak for themselves. I invite you to stand for the first. Just discovered a problem. We're looking down and singing instead of to all these people. Well, actually, I knew this would be a problem. We're going to stand and face each other and sing to each other because these are the people we have. This is all we got, folks. Let's begin on this side. Who God is working in us to repair what has been broken. God is working in us to redeem what
what once was lost. God is working in us to redeem what we withers. God is working in us. We can build a better world with the people. With the people we have, we can hail a new horizon. With the people we have, we can join our hands in hope. With the people we have, we can wave the troubled waters. God is working in us. We can build a better world. God is working in us. We can build a better world. Please remain standing. If you don't know this, just listen, because some will. We'll come back and do the first stanza twice. Hope will not fail. No, hope will not fail, though anguish and apathy seem to prevail. No, hope will not fail. Hope will prevail. Hope will not fail. Hope will not fail. No hope, though anguish and apathy seem to prevail. No hope will not fail. Hope will prevail. Peace will not fail. Peace will not fail. No, peace will not fail, though vengeance and violence seem to prevail. No, peace will not fail. Peace will prevail. Believe in the coming. Believe in the coming of peace, though vengeance and violence seem to prevail. No, peace will not fail. Peace, joy will not fail. Joy will not fail. No, joy will not fail. Though mourning and misery seem to prevail, no, joy will not fail. Joy will be. Believe in the blessing. Believe in the blessing. The coming of joy, though mourning and misery seem to prevail. No, joy will not fail. Joy will prevail. Love will not fail. Love will not fail. No, love will not fail. Though hatred and emphasis seem to prevail. No, love will not fail. Love will prevail. Believe in the power. Believe in the power. The power of love, though hatred and hopelessness seem to prevail. No, love will not fail. Love will. Go back to peace, folks. Peace will not fail. No peace will not fail. Though vengeance and violence seem to prevail, no peace will not fail. No peace will prevail. Again, no peace will prevail. One more time, I hear it. No peace will not fail. Peace will prevail.
We believe that peace, hope, joy, love, all will prevail. God's power will prevail. We believe, O God, you have not left us to ourselves. No, you have called us and formed us into a people who believe that your power will prevail. Send your Spirit into this community, that we may be worthy of your call, singing and living by a faith that dares to trust, singing a healing and wholeness in this broken world, singing a transforming love into lives that yearn for meaning, and yes, singing peace in a world where violence, abuse, and warfare too often has sway, but will not prevail. And now, may the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, keep our hearts and minds in the knowledge and love of God and of God's Son, our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Next year in Princeton.
Another student taught me some things, South African student. And I sent Andrew John a note because I wanted to see, in such a difficult place, talk about peace a little bit. Andrew's an Anglican, and he said, you know, in Zulu, in the Anglican rite, we have the peace of Christ be with you, and it's usually translated and also with you. But he said that's not really accurate to the Zulu. The response is akwande. The peace of Christ be with you, and akwande, may it be so. The peace of Christ be with you. The peace of Christ be with you. May it be so. Now, I really look forward to this, but I'm going to go out on a bit of a limb. What we are about to do, I have never heard, except in my head. So I may be leaving very quickly if it does not work. But I had in mind 2 songs for a Quod Libet, and I was humming them with Hillary Donaldson when I saw her recently. And she said, have you thought about adding this song? And with 2 of us, it seemed to work. Don't blame Hillary if it doesn't. So we're going to begin by singing this first one. If you don't know it, you might listen and just pick up the Spanish, and then we'll sing it together. La paz de la tierra esté contigo, la paz de los cielos también. Try that. La paz de la tierra esté contigo, la paz de los cielos también. La paz de los ríos esté contigo, la paz de los mares también. La paz de los ríos esté contigo, la paz de los mares también. Together. La paz profunda cayendo sobre ti. La paz profunda creciendo and beginning. La paz
paz de la tierra esté contigo, la paz de los cielos también. La paz de los ríos esté contigo, la paz de los mares también. La paz profunda cayendo sobre ti, la paz profunda creciendo en ti.
For those of you that have perfect pitch, just get over it. I sing where it's comfortable. And then in Arabic,
Ya Rabba Salami, Am Teralena Salam. Ya Rabba Salami, Imla Kalubana Salam. Ya Rabba Salami, Am Teralena Salam. Ya Rabba Salami, Imla Kalubana Salam. Ya Rabba. Ya Rabba Salami, Am Teralena Salam. Ya Rabba Salami, Imla Kalubana Salam. And one that's probably familiar to you, at least in some form. Shalom Chavarim, Shalom Chavarot, Shalom, Shalom, Lehitraot, Lehitraot, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Chavarim, Shalom Chavarot, Shalom, Shalom, Lehitraot, Lehitraot, Shalom, Shalom.
my friends, this is not meant to be a musical gimmick. What we're trying to do in our singing, which is what this statement is about, is to go ahead and imagine what peace might sound like. What might it sound like if this really were voiced? It has to start somewhere, and if we can't imagine it, it's certainly not going to happen. It may be eschatological, I don't know. But we're going to give it a try. Now, I've never heard it put together. There may be some bumps. But as you're well aware, the path to peace has a few bumps. We don't call them mistakes or problems. We just call them blessings to overcome. So, we're going to have this group start with Ya Rabbi Salami, this group Shalom Kavarim, and then I have a special part. I've always had a special place in my heart for altos because I used to be one. And so altos, we're going to start with La Paz at the end, and we're going to put it over the top, but it's not in the keys written. I'll sing it with you, and you'll figure out what to do, because altos always know what to do. And after we've done it a couple of times, find other parts. Keep it going. Well, it'll be done when it's done.
Ya Rabba Salami, Am Terelena Salam. Ya Rabba Salami, Imla Kalubana Salam. Shalom Hariba Salam Kavar. Shalom, Shalom, Lehitraot,
altos, join me. La paz profunda cayendo sobre ti. La paz profunda crescendo en ti. La paz profundo sobre ti. La paz profunda crescendo. Find a new part. La paz profunda cayendo sobre ti. La paz profunda crescendo. Please stand and face each other. La paz profunda cayendo sobre ti. La paz crescendo. Humming. The peace of Christ be with you. Akande. Donam vobis pacem, donam vobis pacem, one more time, and nobis pacem, A benediction I often use in groups like this. In my benedictions, you look right at me. Don't do this. May the God who created our song and Jesus Christ, that's the theme of our song, and the Holy Spirit that gives us the breath to sing this song be with each of you. Go in peace to love each other and the world. Thanks be to God.
Before you go, Stephen has asked me to remind you to leave your name, the badge holders, in the boxes at the exits of the church. You are welcome, of course, to keep this little piece of paper with your name and so forth, but and also make sure to take any personal effects out of those pouches. Including your conference card. You're going to need that to get out or get back.